Welcome, everyone. Paula.
Hey, Amy, this is very exciting. Only a couple of weeks ago, you were my guest.
And here we are ready to do this together.
You are, and I think we should probably tell everybody, Michelle and JC are on a well-deserved break. So
Hooray!
we're holding down the fort today, and we are going to do the show that everybody, I think, has come to know as Bridges Beyond Grief. So that's
Yes.
exciting.
I have a little promo here we can tease it up with real quick.
Oh, love it.
Isn't this going to be fun?
Nice. Are you going to do that again when we are going live?
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Paula, for those watching already, you've been doing some really powerful weeks here on Thursdays. Can you just share a little bit about some of the journeys you've already taken us on?
Yes. You know, the whole purpose of this series called Bridges Beyond Grief is to highlight different kinds of loss issues that different populations, different people on this planet are dealing with. And then to talk about the bridge, whatever it was that got them to the other side of the grief and the pain. So like Amy, when we had you on, you're dealing with an issue that's very, very prevalent these days. And that is you kind of lost your normal life, your regular career and all that, because you've become the caregiver to your father with Alzheimer's. But the bridge that you so incredibly creatively created is that you share it on Facebook. You do vlogs on Facebook, highlighting all these different experiences you're having with your dad. And I think it's made a huge difference. Not only are you impacting people in an incredibly positive, informative way, you are experiencing joy where you might have just really been in the doldrums, right?
Oh, it's so true. And I think so many people experience that and go through that as well. And I'm just so grateful that you've come with this heart and knowledge and experience to help so many people with those bridges of grief, with going through any kind of grief or life change situation. Today, especially, we're going to again be talking about the need for seniors. And I think that's so important. Yes. We have an incredible guest lined up with Kristoffer Kelly, and we're going to talk about him in just a moment. But we are ready to go live here.
Okay.
Doctor James JC Cooley, the James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Welcome to Bridges Beyond Grief, a series that we're doing here on It's Your Life. JC Cooley and Michelle Cooley's weekly, well, actually daily show. We are thrilled that JC has given me the opportunity to create this series, Bridges Beyond Grief, so that we can spotlight different kinds of loss issues that create grief, and then talk about the bridge, the means that that particular guest found for helping to get to the other side of the pain and the sadness and the loss that comes with those particular issues.
Well, and for those of you coming in here for the first time, I want to share a little bit. This is Paula Shaw, our amazing host. I'm Amy Scruggs here, co-host today. But I would love to indulge just a little bit so that you understand the background of Paula and the expertise and compassion that she brings to the show today. But Paula is a life transition coach and grief specialist, best-selling author, keynote speaker, and media host on her own show, Change It Up Radio with Paula. And for more than 25 years, she's dedicated to helping people navigate the stress of change and challenge using mind-body tools and technique. She's a founding member of the Association for Comprehensive Energy Psychology. She strongly believes that the tools and methods of this field can shortcut meaningful change and help people get their lives back on track and moving in the desired direction more quickly than with traditional methods. She is just launching her all-inclusive coaching program, Bridges Beyond Grief, what we were just discussing, and it's a customized approach to walking individuals through those challenges of loss and change into a vibrant, satisfying life. She has her degree in education and communications from Long Beach State University and is a graduate counseling credits in grief and addictive disorders from Loyola Marymount. And this is your amazing host, Paula. And I just wanted everybody to really know who you are and what you represent and specialize in. And then we'll start discussing this show. And I would love to be able to share when you're ready with who our guest is today.
All right. Well, just a little bit of background before we get into meeting the amazing Kristoffer Kelly. The fastest growing segment of the population today is seniors. And that's amazing. It's never happened in history before. Always the younger people were the biggest part of the population. But we're living longer, we're living better, and more of us are now on the planet. But with aging, with becoming a senior, which, by the way, I am, I'm one of the tribe, in that experience, there are many loss issues that people don't realize. Because remember, grief isn't just a result of death. Grief is the normal, natural response to the loss of anything that is cherished, loved, valued. So it can be a person, a place, a thing, a condition. And as we age, many, many things change about us and about the way we're living our lives. Mm-hmm. And that often creates grief because we miss what it used to be. We miss that face that didn't have a wrinkle. We miss being able to walk 10 miles. We miss going to the gym and showing off with the 20-year-olds. We miss a lot of those things or conditions that used to be. So Kristoffer Kelly is part of he's actually the director of partnerships of the San Diego Seniors Community Foundation. Their whole world is about trying to make life better for seniors. So we couldn't be bringing you anybody more fun, more delightful, and more informative than Chris Kelly today. So Amy, why don't you tell us a little bit about Chris and then we'll bring him on.
It's so exciting because I happen to know Chris as well. And I can tell you everything we're reading doesn't even describe him well enough. He's got the heart just the size of Texas. Kristoffer Kelly, he's a third generation San Diegan with over 15 years of experience in TV, media, event production, and nonprofit leadership. His grandparents played a significant role in shaping his respect for elders, inspiring his dedication to making San Diego a better place for our seniors to age. Continuing his family's legacy of building a stronger community in San Diego, Kristoffer has contributed through philanthropy, including co-hosting the Sanford Burnham Presbyterian Institute's Bring It event. He has raised funds for critical causes such as melanoma research, Rady's Children's Hospital, oncology and kids, and Meals on Wheels and San Diego, just to name a few. A Rotarian and graduate of Lead San Diego's Impact Class of 2020, Kristoffer was awarded the Herbert G. Klein Memorial Leadership Award and holds a BFA from Chapman University. He lives in San Diego with his wife and 2 young children. As Director of Development and Partnerships at the San Diego Seniors Community Foundation, Kristoffer is dedicated to improving the lives of seniors and making San Diego a model city aging well. With no further ado, may I?
Please, drum roll.
Hi, ladies. How are you?
Hi, Chris. So great to have you on this show. I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time, and I know you're the man with the answers. And I'd like to add to my family, to our listeners, Chris has been an amazing help to my own family because I have a dad who's 99 in a month, and a mother who's 95. And I was going round and round with the VA trying to figure out how to get them in-home health care. And after 9 months of unsuccessful attempts, communicating, filling out forms, having people say it's the wrong forms and all these things, I turned to Chris and literally I was like desperate. I'm like, here's what's going on. Can you help me? Within a day, he gave me 5 names. Within that week, the puzzle was solved. And my parents had their first day with their new caregiver 2 days ago. So bless you, Chris Kelly. And, I was talking with a client today, Chris, another person you've helped. And I'm realizing it's such a, what do you call it? A massive confusing issues that seniors have to deal with. How do I get a caregiver? Where do I find a walker? How do I work my computer? Oh, here's one of my favorites. How do I make an appointment online to get some lab work done when I don't really know how to use my computer well? So you and your foundation have answers for so many of those things. So as Mary Martin once said, or not Mary Martin, who was the one that did The Sound of Music?
The hills are alive with music.
Exactly. That's where I was going to. But remember, let's start at the very beginning. So, yeah. Chris, what drew you, first of all, to doing this kind of work with seniors?
First of all, thank you for having me on the show. And it was Julie Andrews, by the way.
That's it. God bless you. That would have driven me crazy.
That's right. So we are the first community foundation solely focused on seniors, the first in the U.S. that we know of, if not the world. Wow. And we are looking at the entire county, trying to enhance the physical, the mental, the financial, and social well-being of all seniors in San Diego. No matter your income level or where you came from, all that, we're looking out for everyone. And we're the only agency doing that. Less than 2% of charitable dollars goes towards seniors. And senior, it's wild because we're not kids or puppies. So we are a grant-making organization. We raise money and then we grant it back out to organizations that are trying to help us all age here in San Diego. And I don't think you are a senior. I didn't know that you were a senior, but just a fun fact, 10,000 people a day in the U.S. turn 65. So happy birthday to those that turn 65 today. But it's a big number. And as you were mentioning, there's going to be 930,000 people over the age of 65 by the year 2030. And this is a big boom that we all need to talk about. And last time I checked, we're all aging. As much as we try to anti-age, just like you, Paula, there's so many. So we are working on helping all San Diegans age and then hopefully duplicate this throughout the U.S.
Now, let me ask you a question about that number, 930,000. Is that just in San Diego County or in the whole country?
That's just San Diego. And let me talk about the whole country and the world. But it looks like we're going to a commercial break here soon.
This is incredible information, Chris. I know we're just getting you wound up. And so I know we're all really excited to see what's going to take place and what you have to answer. We are ready to go to a quick break, but please don't go anywhere because we have incredible information to help everyone know how they can better support our seniors all over, not just San Diego, but everywhere, because this is such an amazing topic. Thank you so much.
The J.C. Cooley Foundation is a nonprofit organization that was started in October of 2014. The J.C. Cooley Foundation continues to strive to expand its programs and offerings to the youth, young adults, and citizens of our great communities nationwide and overseas. We hope that you'll be able to take part in one or more of the many exciting events that we are offering this year and experience firsthand the pride we take in supporting our cause. It's our mission to equip the youth of today for the challenges of tomorrow, and we rely heavily on the generosity of individuals and business owners for support. Without the assistance of community-minded individuals just like you, we wouldn't be able to serve our youth each year. We ask that you make a commitment to support our annual appeal by making a cash donation. This year's goal is $50,000. Your generosity will assist us in making a difference in the lives of the youth in our community. You can give online at CooleyFoundation.org. Remember that every donation makes a difference regardless of size. The J.C. Cooley Foundation thanks you in advance for your contribution.
Your copy of A Black Man's Point of View by author Dr. James J.
Paula Shaw here. I'm thrilled that LifeWave phototherapy patches, which use no drugs or chemicals, have become a part of my life and my business. My family and I all use their wearable patch technology, and the results are life-changing. My parents in their 90s used the X39 patch, which activates stem cells, reverses aging, and improves the function of every area of the brain. I love X39 because I can work out with the 30-year-olds with no problem. And it's erased my fine lines and given my skin a youthful glow. LifeWave patches use a patented form of phototherapy, frequencies of light, to safely boost health and wellness at the cellular level. No drugs. To learn more, go to my website, lifewave.com/safe health. That's lifewave.com/safe health.
Thanks, Vance.
Lessons to educate, encourage, and enlighten our next generation of leaders and heroes. Get your copy of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James J.C. Cooley, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
Welcome back to It's Your Life with James Cooley, who is not here today. I'm sure you can tell. This is the series that we do on Thursdays at 2:00 that we call Bridges Beyond Grief. And my guest today is Chris Kelly, who is the Director of Development and Partnerships with the San Diego Seniors Community Foundation, which, as he was explaining in the first segment, is doing some amazing work to provide seniors with so much that they need. And I think, Chris, where I'd like to go right now is talking a little bit about, let's talk to our listeners and viewers about what some of the loss issues are that seniors are experiencing.
Yeah, there's a lot of loss, like you mentioned in the opening. It's not just a spouse, it's not just a family member, it's a sense of purpose. A lot of people retire and they're used to getting up every morning, going to the job, but once they retire, they don't know what to do. I don't know if you've ever been in a myself, not being a senior, but I know when I shift jobs, in between that job gap, I keep reaching for my phone, looking for an email and not getting one. And there's a long gap. But same thing when you become a senior, maybe you move to be closer to the kids across country. You're in a new community. Maybe you move someplace else. You just have that sense of purpose that you used to get up. You used to be the person at the job that always would handle this or that. And now you don't have that responsibility or accountability. So now you're kind of lost and you're wondering. So it's a sense of identity would be the first. Mm-hmm. The second one is you try and figure out finances. Finances are a huge deal here in America. There's 1 in 4 people over the age of 65 still working. Because they have to. Maybe they retired and came back. But how people are living longer, because healthcare is so great.
Right.
And to live longer, that's fabulous. But how am I going to make my money last to the end of my life? So that's really hard.
It's a real concern.
Yeah. And then here in San Diego, and it's across the nation, but here in San Diego, 130,000 elder orphans. Those are people who never had kids. Maybe they never got married. Maybe the kids moved back east, away from where they live, don't live in the same community, whatever that is, but they're alone. And talk about loss of sense of identity, loss program. So they just self-isolate, and they have no one to turn to and trust, which you need someone to turn to and trust and socialize. Being isolated is like smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So your health completely declines. So,
Wow.
well, loss of, not just a spouse or someone, but being alone. It's a big deal here in
Mhm. The isolation piece and the loneliness, I think, are huge. We all have this dream, especially a lot of married people have this dream of how it's going to be after retirement, their wonderful life experience together. And then you get a bad health diagnosis. And now you're dealing with a loss of health. You're dealing with a loss of capability to do certain things so often. And your world, which was going to be this wonderful, expansive experience, starts getting smaller and more confined. I was just talking with a client today who is a senior, and she's dreading the holidays. And I know you guys are doing a program I want to talk about a little later because I think it deserves its own spotlight. But that's a real concern. Here we are. We haven't even had Halloween yet, but certain seniors are already thinking about, how am I going to face the holidays alone?
Yeah, I mean, when you get older, it's kind of hard to find friends, right?
Yeah.
Where do you find friends? Where do you go? And so
Right.
we believe here at the Seniors Foundation that enhancing the senior center is a really great place to be. Go get socialization. You can get connected to programs and services that you didn't know you qualified for, things like that. But also the Rotary clubs and all the animal clubs, like all the Elks and everything else.
Yeah.
Engagement.
Right.
That are really important. But yes, it's very sad. The old saying goes, don't schedule your dentist appointment and doctor appointment in the same day, because there goes your social life.
Oh.
You're a senior. And it's sad, but it's true. There's so many people that, even if they're married, sometimes they're just bored. And so what we do here at the foundation is we try and enhance senior centers by empowering them, by writing grants, staffing, programming, instructors. And these senior centers, they have some pretty cool stuff going on and really cool people. So there's some program services. There's pool halls at senior centers. There's
nice.
There's volunteer opportunities. Like here in San Diego, I don't know how many seniors know this, but did you know that you can go down to the zoo and you can volunteer to be that docent that shows the new pandas that are in the zoo?
Kidding. I would love to do that at the safari park.
You can. Everyone can. And that's the point, is seniors don't have a place to turn to and trust.
Yes.
And answers on aging. And us adult children that are taking care of our little ones. I have 2 munchkins at home, and also taking care of our older parents. We're the sandwich generation.
Oh boy.
Where we become old and talk about sense of identity and grief and loss, where do we turn for answers? And you turn to me, because I'm that trusted source in the community, and I know all the players and who we can trust, and vetted people. And so let me tell you, the folks at home more about your story. It took you a year. You were filling out VA paperwork for your father, who's a World War II vet, and thank you for his service. He's an amazing man. If the viewers at home haven't met him on the show, he is unbelievable. And you are going to every dead end, and no one was giving you the right answer. Go on this website, call this line, all this. You didn't have a care navigator like myself to stand there and go, hey, did you try this? I'm a person. Talk to me in person, and I'll guide you on this. And within 2 days, you had a caregiver already lined up. You realized that your father qualified for some sort of caregiving that he paid into his whole life. And here we are. And now you're a lot lighter today because you were driving up to the Orange County from San Diego to care for your older adult folks. And it's a slug. And so talk about sense of identity. All of a sudden you became a full caregiver. And Amy, who was here on the show, she's taking care of her father full time. Right. So it's a lot. And last point on this is I feel sorry for folks my age who are at work. They're stressed out because they're taking care of their kids and their older parents. Right. And if something happens, usually females have to leave the workforce and leave their careers to care for children and the aging adult. And then once they're coming back to the workforce, they've lost a sense of identity and gone down a couple pegs because they haven't worked in 6 years. So it's a big issue, this caregiving issue, and we're trying to tackle that.
I can attest to that. I just had to pop in because that's exactly this entire year. I left my career. I left everything, my home, everything to make sure my parents, especially my father, are okay. And I think about, well, what happens when I want to re-enter my business in the workplace? What's that even going to look like? And it's so overwhelming. I can't think about it. So I just wanted to say, yes, firsthand, I understand that. And thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. And you know what? It's one of those things you have no choice about. Because if your parents need you, what are you going to do? Say, oh, I'm busy. Sorry. So you do rearrange your life. You do end up driving hours and miles and all of that because it's got to be done. They have to be cared for. So
you're lucky though, that your parents are lucky they have you that care about, because there's somebody who don't have someone, or they just don't get along with their kids, or their kids live somewhere else.
Right. And that I thought that was fascinating what you were saying, Edward, the sandwich generation of taking care of kids and parents. That wasn't think about the way life was in this country long ago. Most people were dying in their 70s and 80s. I have a 95-year-old mother and a 99-year-old dad, and they're still going pretty darn strong. And thank you, God, for that. Because I adore them. But I know what you're saying, Chris. It's like we have so much on us. And let's don't forget the little piece I mentioned earlier on. My parents at this point in time, they're sight challenged and hearing challenged. My mom and dad sometimes are able to call an Uber to pick them up. But then when that appointment is done or they're done shopping, they can't see the app well enough to call the Uber to come back for them. And so if they don't find some wonderful someone out there to help them, then they literally have been stranded before. Somehow a wonderful being always comes along and does help them. But, that's the other kinds of losses we don't think about. When the eyes go and the ears go, it's very difficult to navigate life. And then, as I mentioned earlier, your doctor says, okay, I want you to do some blood work, or I want you to have some x-rays. And you get a phone number and they say, for an appointment for blah, 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 go to our website. My parents can't go to a website. What do people do, Chris? What do you suggest to seniors when the IT is driving them crazy?
Yeah, well, a trusted source like a senior center, which should be in every single community. You go down the street and there should be someone there that can help you with getting a ride, transportation, and also neighbors. I think that this is a time when neighbors need to really identify isolated seniors or seniors in their community and help out. There's a movement called the Villages, which is a group of folks who live in the neighborhood who all look out for each other and age well together. But I believe that having a senior center down the street, we all want to age in our homes, right? So if we had a trustworthy location down the street with programs, services, and a care navigator, someone who's looking after you every day. But there's pickleball, there's exercise, there's financial help, there's mental health help.
Oh, wow.
There's Mahjong, there's bingo, of course, pickleball, there has to be pickleball, aquatics, and more, but it keeps you socially active. And also that civic engagement that you can do. But loss of license, that's another thing. When you lose your license, I've been at the DMV and seen seniors bawling. And it's anxiety ridden, but that's another thing. So we're looking into self-driving cars, which I'll throw it to Amy, but self-driving cars is something we're looking into.
Oh, let's talk more about that after the break.
We'll pick right back up.
your favorite
Is living in
toppings.
today's fast-paced world making you feel stressed and out of balance? Are anxiety, sleeplessness, depression, lack of focus, or weight gain robbing you of your relationship and your energy? If you're ready for change, you need to call Paula Shaw. Paula helps you identify and eliminate self-sabotaging thinking and behavior. Using a wide variety of mind-body techniques, she provides her clients with the most effective processes for their specific needs. To book a session with Paula, call 858-480-9234. That's 858-480-9234.
Craving a slice of Chicago right here in Temecula wine country? Then dive into legendary Chicago deep dish style pizza at Rosati's Pizza Pub. Piled high with gooey cheese, rich tomato sauce, and your favorite toppings, Rosati's delivers the taste of the Windy City right to your table or front door. Enjoy the cozy pub atmosphere and an impressive selection of Temecula wines. Come on down to Rosati's Pizza Pub for your slice of Chicago right here on Rancho California Road, or order online at myrosatis.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
Paula Shaw here. I'm thrilled that LifeWave phototherapy patches, which use no drugs or chemicals, have become a part of my life and my business. My family and I all use their wearable patch technology, and the results are life-changing. My parents in their 90s used the X39 patch, which activates stem cells, reverses aging, and improves the function of every area of the brain. I love X39 because I can work out with the 30-year-olds with no problem. And it's erased my fine lines and given my skin a youthful glow. LifeWave patches use a patented form of phototherapy, frequencies of light, to safely boost health and wellness at the cellular level. No drugs. To learn more, go to my website, lifewave.com/safe health. That's lifewave.com/safe health.
True life story. You to refuse to become a victim of life's circumstance and dare to become an overcomer, because a bigger, better, and more impactful life awaits you. Get the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, by Dr. James Cooley, on Amazon or wherever books are sold.
Dr. James JC Cooley.
Welcome back to It's Your Life, and today's series is Bridges Beyond Grief. And we are talking today, I'm your host for that one, Paula Shaw. I'm talking with Chris Kelly of the San Diego Seniors Community Foundation. And wow, Chris, I'm so glad you guys exist. Not only have you helped me and my family, but this information I think is so important. And actually my client today said, please ask him for like that IT help and the classes and things at the senior centers. Like, let's say you can't figure out something on your phone. Can you just walk into a senior center and is there somebody there that would help you?
Yes, there is actually the Genius Bar type of tutoring, but there's also different organizations. If you contact your local aging independent services, or AAA as they call them in other counties outside of California, there's usually some sort of digital education, but usually happens at the senior center level. And there'll be someone there to help you. Of course, you can always go to the Apple Store and try that. There's also a really great resource called getsetup.io. And it's just YouTube of classes of all kinds, from cooking to technology to whatever, and they will teach you. But it's funny, before COVID, we donated a bunch of computer labs to different senior centers. And now we walk in those senior centers and those computer labs are dusty. And the reason is because now people are so, with their technology, they go, oh, here's this phone. How do I get to Instagram with this, with my tablet or my phone? Or how do you do this? How do you get to Facebook? And so now it's more of a hands-on approach, more like the Genius Bar approach.
Yeah, that's so cool. And give us that address again, Chris.
Getsetup.io. setup.io. It's free. And it's a friend of ours up in the Bay, and they have this whole, it's almost like a virtual senior center, but a lot of technology tutoring on there as well. But also your local library. A lot of libraries actually will rent out, just like you would borrow a book. You can rent out iPads and other tablets, and usually the staff there is more than willing and able to help you, but they also do have classes at libraries as well. But senior center first, library second, get set up.io.
Great resource. I know my dad discovered the library. They gave him headphones and some kind of a player. He, since last June, not the one that was 2 months ago, but since June a year ago, he's read 98 books, audio books. So, and I had no idea libraries did that. I also know, I don't know much about what's available, but the Braille Institute has some great equipment and stuff for people who are sight challenged. So it's out there. It's just that it's such a maze, people don't know where to go. So let me ask you this. Let's say I'm a confused senior and I can't figure out how to get someone to come in and help in my home. Can I call your office and ask a question? How does that work?
Absolutely. So the San Diego Seniors Community Foundation is here for all San Diegans. And so you would call us or email us or however you get in touch with us, and then we would refer you or get you the information. You would work with our staff that would get you the information and get you on the right track to do so. But we more than often will steer you towards the senior center because that is a local hub next to your home.
Yes.
But also we have vetted caregivers throughout San Diego. And we always offer up a different list of who's available and who can help you with your answers. Because we believe that every senior needs someone to turn to and trust. And a care navigator, which is a real live person, instead of sending your parents to a website or a phone number where they just get stuck in a number tree or don't know how to get in the line, you need a trusted source. Because back when your parents were younger, the trusted source was the bank teller. You would go down to the bank, and that bank teller knew your family.
Right.
Mr. and Mrs. Shaw were acting interesting. They would go, hey, mom's acting a little funny. She's trying to take out money. And that's another thing that we do is we work with the FBI, Paula, kind of up by your house up in Carlsbad. There is an elder fraud FBI office. And so we go around San Diego working with FBI, teaching elder fraud prevention. There's so many scams out here with all the AI and Photoshop and everything else that you can do. I can mimic your voice and call your parents and say, I'm in trouble. Please send me money. The only way, go to the bank and do this. And they know how to get around bank security. They will walk you, stay on the phone with me, tell them it's for home repairs. There's all this crazy technology. So we are looking out for all seniors and also adult children and knowing the waterfall effect that this all has on our society, San Diego and the world.
Chris, I have to tell you a funny story about what you just shared. My mother is the one who usually answers the phone because she hears a little better than my dad. And they did exactly what you said. They somehow were able to have a voice that sounded like my son. And they called her and said, I just hit a pregnant woman and she's okay, but I need money to pay this lawyer who says he'll help. And blah. Anyway, there's always a little bit of a different story. So the first time my mother was very worried, she started calling me, calling my daughter, trying to find out if anybody knew where Casey, my son, was. The second time she was wise to it, but the third time they called and gave a story, and it was supposedly Casey again. My 95-year-old mother says, don't you people keep records? This is the third time you've called me in 2 months.
Take me off your list. I'm on the do not call list.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a sense of urgency. It's trying to get you to act right now.
Yes.
Emergencies happen, but if you just slow down.
Good advice.
Let me call Casey. Hey, what do you call me, Grandma? Yeah, fine. Yeah, okay. So it's more often, always slow down or ask, can I call you back, or whatever that is, just slow it down. But romance scams are the number one scam. That little text message you get from all these different people. Hey, how you doing? Oh, I must have got the wrong number. Well, they have a whole script, and they have photos of a young lady to, if you're a man, they're trying to persuade you to I live abroad and I would love to meet you someday. And it's usually a lonely senior. And that's why salespeople call around 5 o'clock, because that's the loneliest time for a senior.
Oh, that's interesting. I would say 5 o'clock and Sundays. Sundays alone used to really bother me, and so I get it. And it just, to me, it's the most low life, abhorrent thing in the world to take advantage of a senior and take money to people who mostly have limited incomes and all of that. So I'm so delighted to hear that you're helping to teach people, what to do and what not to do, which is super important.
With the FBI, it's really nice to be with an actual agent. I mean, I don't get a badge, but it's still great. And we get the education out, and the story we hear is just unbelievable. The gift card scam, all these scams, but more on that later.
Oh, well, bless you for doing that. I think, are we going to have
we're close to a commercial. Chris, do you feel that the community is starting to really see the needs for seniors and level up our education for those of us that are caring for our parents, or for the generations even behind me, to say, hey, these are the things that we need to help them with, especially when you're bringing up the possibility of being taken advantage of and fraud. I know I feel like my mom probably thinks I beat her over the head because I'm like, who was that on the phone? What was that? Because I'm always hyper vigilant. Are we doing a good job educating for hypervigilance on supporting seniors?
We're not. We exist because less than 2% of charitable dollars goes towards seniors, and we aren't. How do you reach a senior? TV is going away. We only see, so many people watch the 6 o'clock news. Where do you get your media? Is it the newspaper? So we're not doing a good job. We need to do more. And that's why we're trying to enhance the senior center to be that central hub that you can turn to and trust. And every senior should be able to go there and get answers and be educated on stuff like this. So we're trying.
Thank you.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do. If you can see it here, you can do it. You might not be able to see it with the physical eyes, but if you can see it here, you can do it. Don't let anyone tell you that you cannot do it. You all are the future leaders of tomorrow. I am a leader. I am a senior. I will be one of the leaders of this world. So, if you know yourself, and if you love yourself, you got the confidence, you can share yourself, you can be who you are. It doesn't matter if you're short, tall, fat, big, whatever, black, white, pink, gold, purple. It doesn't matter. You step up with confidence. You are a masterpiece. You are leaders.
Paula Shaw here. I'm thrilled that LifeWave phototherapy patches, which use no drugs or chemicals, have become a part of my life and my business. My family and I all use their wearable patch technology and the results are life-changing. My parents in their 90s used the X39 patch, which activates stem cells, reverses aging, and improves the function of every area of the brain. I love X39 because I can work out with a 30-year-old with no problem. And it's erased my fine lines and given my skin a youthful glow. LifeWave patches use a patented form of phototherapy, frequencies of light, to safely boost health and wellness at the cellular level. No drugs. To learn more, go to my website, lifewave.com/safe health. That's lifewave.com/safe health.
Rosati's.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
Welcome back to It's Your Life.
This has been amazing, hasn't it?
It really has. I mean, Chris is giving us gold here, just absolute gold.
I would love to pull Todd in real quick. Todd, how have you felt about this show so far? Eye-opening, isn't it?
Yes, very much so. And we all need to take care of our seniors out there, and it's our job to do so. And there's more and more with the baby boomers getting into up to that age. So we have to be more mindful of that. And so great show for our listeners today.
Thanks, Todd. Thank you. So where is Mr. Kelly? I've got questions for that man. Chris, first thing I don't want to forget, can people donate to your foundation on the website?
Absolutely. We're always looking for donations. We have a couple of different initiatives. There's about 40,000 grandparents raising grandkids in San Diego.
Wow.
And I know this is the same story throughout the country, but a lot of parents are out of the picture because of incarceration or opioids. And so these grandparents who are in their 60s, 70s are raising their grandkids. And this is like parenting 2.0. So we fund different programs for grandparents raising grandkids. We make sure that they have a support group, childcare, and more. But right now, the holidays are coming up. And you had mentioned that you had a friend that is going to be alone for the holidays.
Yes.
And we have a campaign all year long. It's called the No Senior Alone campaign. But for the holidays, it's a No Senior Alone for the Holidays campaign, where we raise a bunch of money. Our goal is $150,000 to grant out to 28 senior centers. And they put on parties, events, outings, parades, and meals. And what they do is the whole intention of this is to attract the 130,000 senior orphans in San Diego to these senior centers to be connected to other people. And I tell you, Paula, I go to these senior centers and there's people that are unhoused that show up. There's people that they just lost a spouse. They're lost. And they said, if it's not free, I'd be alone for Christmas. And it is the saddest thing. And they asked me to dance. And it is incredible just to see just how much so far. And I'm partnering with the Som Family Foundation, who has a matching grant of $50,000 for this. So every dollar raised up to $50,000 will be matched. We also have Bombas Socks that's donating socks to give to these. But to ensure someone has a place to turn to and trust and to be there for the holidays. I mean, smiles on their face with meals that maybe their friends cook. Maybe it's a potluck, a party. Karaoke is widely successful. Dance, extended hours at the senior center, and then transportation, of course, is also provided. So it's a big deal, but it's a huge need here in San Diego and across the U.S., where every single person needs a place to spend and find family. Senior centers.
And what is your website? If somebody listening right now is dying to just give you a huge donation because this is such beautiful and such needed work, where did they go?
They go to www.sdscf.org, which stands for San Diego Seniors Community Foundation. You can also Google that, and we do take cash and also non-cash assets because we want to endow San Diego. We want to be around for a long time, and specifically focusing on building the infrastructure for aging throughout San Diego and every community for every senior.
So SDSCF, SDSCF.org.
Yes, there you go. Right.
Because
That's SDSCF.org.
just remember, everybody, San Diego Seniors Community Foundation.
And you can ensure that no senior is alone this holiday season. And these holidays are so great because we bring in kids to do the Christmas Carol. We celebrate Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, and we bring in the churches and other communities into the senior center. We do crafts. It is just unbelievable what we can do this. Then New Year's Eve and so on and so forth. So it is a good time. And also I encourage everyone listening right now, go to your local senior center, volunteer. And it's not about serving that food or being there. It's that conversation that you have. Some of these people live alone. They don't get to talk to people. So you're the only person they're going to talk to today.
Yeah.
And
that is such worthwhile work. And you know what? It's a win-win for everybody, right? You volunteer, you win. You've done something beautiful and you've helped somebody. And certainly the people that you're helping win, because we're finding out more and more that community is what heals. It's like with all the grieving people I work with, one of the biggest sources of help and healing is community. We need people to love. We need people to laugh with. We need people to have fun with. We need people to talk to. We need hugs. You can't do that very well by yourself, but everybody out there can give on some level. And I love, Chris, that you're bringing it to this focal point of the senior centers, because I think many people don't even realize their community has a senior center. Or what do they do?
Right.
You know,
there's nail salons, there's barbershops, there's cafes.
Oh, God, I didn't know that.
Engaging things that happen at a senior center. We all have a negative connotation of the senior center brand. And that's why we're trying to rename senior centers. You know, you name someone's name. It could be called an aging hub. It can be called an active adult center. But so much can happen there. And getting seniors civically engaged in their community to volunteer, sense of purposeness, and also our friends from the Itzkowitz Family Foundation, they help us with intergenerational. And there's such cool work being done where the seniors are giving back to kids. Maybe they're reading to the kids, helping them with tutoring after school. Maybe they're the bus driver, because a lot of the school systems are down bus drivers and need retired bus drivers to be the school bus drivers. So things like that are just the crossing guards. And
crossing guards, yes, that came to mind. Yep.
But kids need an older adult. I was so lucky to have my grandparents, and they lived a long time, which is great. And so I always was interacting. My grandfather was a principal and also a football coach. So we had a lot to talk about. And then I got to hang around all his buddies and learn from all of them. So there's so much wisdom and amazing things we can all learn from our older adult friends. And I think if you have kids, make sure you're writing notes and cards on the holidays, deliver them to the seniors throughout your neighborhood. That's the best thing ever. And the conversations and the cool things you'll learn because of that.
And share the creativity, the crafts, the music, all those things. It's what brings us to life. And I'm so grateful to you, Chris, for everything you've shared with us today. Amazing, amazing resources out there that so many people don't know about.
Oh, thank you. We're here to help and here to help ensure no senior is alone.
Yeah, I love that. At any time of year, we want that to be the case, right?
Right.
All right.
What
Amy?
an amazing time. This is so special to my heart, because you're right. My parents we're fortunate enough to have me be able to be here and be a part of it. But there's so many seniors out there. And when I watch what my father and mother's journey has been, and my heart breaks when I know that there's so many out there that don't have that resource, and what you're doing to provide the education, the resource, the information, the support, and everything. Just like I was moved to tears with this show. Thank you so much, Chris.
Well, thank you. So great seeing you, ladies. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, most definitely our pleasure, Chris. Most definitely. And so many wonderful resources out there. Please, listeners, find out what your senior center is offering and spread the word.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.